Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to KGR Radio for the first game of your men's basketball season as Washington State looks to continue on what it was an historical season and what is a very different looking roster and a lot different of a season and a much needed transition. Levi, what are some things that you're expecting? Like what are some things you're looking out for? Who are some guys to look out for here? But as we get kicked off underway,
Can we get it? There we go. Yeah. So I think the big question going into this season is how well are they going to gel together? Right. We have 4 transfers from Eastern Washington. You would think that they know each other pretty well and they know their coach pretty well. So this could mean that we're going to just get off to a great start. They're going to be playing super well. And if they really can have that, connection as a team, because so much of basketball is how the team gels together, right? We see these super teams in the NBA fall apart because they can't play together. If Washington State can play together consistently and right away, in this age of NIL, it's very rare to have a team that comes in right away, first month of the season, and is already meshed together like that. So that's what I'm looking for.
yeah, and building off what you were saying, this team has a lot of continuity. We have a lot of guys that are coming over from Eastern Washington University, excuse me, and David Riley's looking to get this squad going here as a very new looking squad. Obviously, Miles Rice is not in the picture. Isaac Jones is gone. A lot of new looking faces here. Levi, who are you most excited to watch here today?
Well, I'm excited to watch Cedric Coward play some basketball. He was obviously named to the WCC preseason team coming from Fresno, California, transferring from Eastern Washington. He's a senior, 6'6", starting today at guard, it looks like. So I'm watching out for him, but I'm watching out for a lot of guys. I mean, everyone's really hyped about Isaiah Watts and no relation, LeJuan Watts as well. There's a lot to be excited about. We've got obviously Ethan Price coming from England, then from Eastern Washington. So there's a lot to look forward to. How about you? Who are you most excited to see?
Yeah, as you were saying, Cedric Coward has got a lot of hype coming into this. Obviously, coming into this campaign, he was listed as WSU's one of only players on the West Coast Conference preseason All-First team. So expectations are very high for Coward. I'm very excited to see Isaiah Watts come back here. Obviously, building off a very strong campaign last year and looking to build off that. And what we hope is a similar season to last year. But obviously, going to be a lot more tough in a much more basketball competitive conference.
Yeah, and what we're seeing right now, the starting 5 out there, it's all 4 of the transfers. You've got Ethan Price, Dane Erikstrup, LeJuan Watts, Cedric Coward, and then the last guy out there, it is Isaiah Watts. So that's going to be that starting 5, it looks like, as they get into this game. And no, it's not Isaiah Watts. It's Nate Calmes from Washington. So it is all 5 transfers.
As Calmes starts off with the ball here, kicks it off to the big fella in the paint. Washington State. Oh, the pump fake! Gets the defense looking on that one.
And a nice start to the game. Washington State jumping out to the early lead.
That one is missed. Good second chance there by Portland State, as looks like it's Isaac Johnson on the follow-up there, as it's now 2-2. It's Watts. Calmes turns over the ball there, a little careless. The 1-2.
And one thing I'm noticing is I'm not seeing Isaiah Watts right now. He's not on the bench either, I don't think. So that's something to look out for. I'm not sure if there was an injury or what's going on with that situation.
Coward. Clumsy pass there.
Yeah, that was a rough play.
As he was looking for Erikstrup, but unfortunately they couldn't connect there. And sloppy start here for Washington State as they find themselves down 5-2 early in this game. As Myers moves off that screen. Back off to Johnson. Johnson cans it from 3 as he was left wide open. And Washington State is now down 8-2 here.
Yeah, Isaiah Johnson maybe getting some revenge. He was part of an Oregon State team that lost twice to the Cougars last year.
As that one is packed up off the backboard there. As Portland State has numbers, transition. That one is off by Henderson.
Portland
looks like
State
that one has come loose. And looks like it's staying with Washington State.
Portland State's playing really good defense right now, playing very aggressive. They're off to a very fast start. And it'll be interesting to see what happens here. These two coaches have battled 4 times. When David Riley was at Eastern, he beat Portland State 4 times. He was 4-0.
As it looks like the ref is calling a travel on that one, as big man took too many steps there.
Sorry, I misspoke. 6-0. David Riley 6-0 against Portland State in his career. So it's interesting to see them right now getting off to such a fast start. And Portland State is playing press defense right now.
Eric Strupp with a nice dish off to Coward it is. And he gets his first points at WSU Coug. Keep track of that, folks, as that's going to be the first of many for Coward.
Yeah, that was very smooth, and you think they probably did that a lot at Eastern.
As Coward, the pretty-looking layup there, as Portland State answers right back here, as Miller lays that one up there. And it's now 10-4 here at Portland State with a little bit over 17:25 left. Watts has it. Watts kicks it off to the corner. That was Eric Strupp with the good look. No good. That ball is out of bounds. Looks like Portland State's getting it back here.
Yeah, I like the taking a chance on the shot. A nice corner 3. He was wide open. It's interesting. That was a very slow series. It feels like Washington State maybe trying to slow it down a little bit. Portland State has been playing really fast today.
As Myers kicks it off. Looks like Miller was a little short there as he threw up the floater from the key, but that one was no good. But it's stay on the Portland side ball here.
Washington State has started to step up their interior defense game.
As Miller finds an open Quiet Myers as he misses. Second chance is no good. Third chance is airballed actually by Habib. And Washington State looks to keep up the tempo here. It's Lewan Watts.
And is that Isaiah Watts into the game. So Isaiah Watts is in, both Watts on the court.
There's Habib with an easy steal there as Washington State already with 5 turnovers here. As that was a nice looking pump fake and score by Terry Miller as he made that one look easy. And it looks like we're going to have a game break here, ladies and gentlemen. We will be right back with you. Portland State is up 12-4 here in this first quarter, 15 minutes left. We'll be right back with you at KGR Radio. Welcome back to welcome back to KUGR Radio here. A little miscommunication there. Doesn't matter. We're back here as the Cougs trail early here, 12-4 in this game. As Farrell swings it off to the corner, that is.
Yeah, corner 3. That hurts the Cougs. Now they're down by 11. What is going on with this Cougar team?
Very sluggish start here, and what is the first game of the season, but Washington State clearly not in sync yet.
And one thing that's interesting to note, Washington State, their players talked so much about getting fans in the building. They were going to frats, they were going to sororities, they were trying to hype students up. And we're seeing a pretty empty Beasley Coliseum for the first game. That maybe has a mental effect on them.
As that one is canned by Habib, and Jesus, it is now 18-4 here. And Washington State, if they're not careful, could find themselves down big and by double digits at the very least going into the second half.
Yeah, they got to get something going.
The ball movement stagnant here. As
a rough shot, kind of just bricked it. That was Watts. Portland State's going to get it again, I think. No, they're calling a foul.
Yeah, it looks like there's a foul on the floor.
Eric Strupp back into the game, and he's going to inbound it. Yeah, I think this is a pretty crucial possession. I know we're only 5 minutes into this game, but already down by 14.
As Isaiah Watts looks to get something going here, as he kicks it off. Coward.
Another foul. Going to be Wazoo ball again. Portland State doing some subbing. Yeah, this is interesting. We've seen these two coaches have played each other 6 times, and Portland State has never beaten David Riley, but maybe 7th time is a charm. Or maybe it is just a first 5 minutes mirage.
Isaiah Watts is there on the key. So he looks to get some go for himself, but that's a turnover there. And that one is packed off.
Another missed 3-pointer from Wazoo. They still have not hit a 3-pointer yet.
As the shooting woes continue for Washington State here. As Miller hits it from Miller time range as he knocks that 3 down. And Washington State is now down by 17 here. As Eric Strupp back off.
And that's got to be a shooting foul, and it is. Yeah, I mean, one thing that can give you some hope for the Cougars, Washington State so far 0% from the 3-point line. And meanwhile, Portland State has hit 71% of their 3-pointers. I'm pretty sure they are 5 for 7 from the 3. So that's not going to continue, obviously. Wazoo is going to hit some 3s. Portland State is going to start missing them. But they still need to be a little bit better just overall.
Yeah, Portland State not really messing around here early as they have caught fire and caught the hot hand quite fast here.
Wow.
The first free throw is missed there by...
Both free throws are missed.
Oh, both are... Yeah, both. First 2 free throws are missed, excuse me.
And that's the transfer Rihards Vavers out of Quinnipiac.
As Vavers looks to hit the 3rd free throw here. As he sinks that one in, and it's now 21-5. As Henderson checks up the ball. Back off to Johnson. As Habib kicks it off to Johnson again. Good Cougar defense here. This has been a better defensive possession. as Habib drives in the paint, but loses his footing and falls down on the ground, but looks like there's a foul called. Looks like there's tripping on the play.
And that is the first foul called against the Cougars.
As Henderson checks it up in here. Nice trapping there at the sideline.
Is that a travel? Travel on Portland State, I believe.
Yeah, that looks like they ruled a travel there. As Isaiah Watts checks it up from the key here, and he gets it back. He drives in and he looks to find Coward there, but that pass was deflected, and it still remains Cougar basketball here. As it's back off to Coward. Coward a little quiet here so far.
And what's going on now? Looks like whistle was blown and foul against Portland State. Looks like. Yeah. Calmeese back into the game. Wazoo, man, a lot of fouls early in this game.
Yeah, fouls have been the story early in this game. Isaiah Watts pulls up the dribble, and he hits that one. And he's got a 3 going for Washington State. And as this one's now 21-8. There's still 13 minutes left. Plenty of time left for Washington State. As Henderson back off to Noel, and Noel is swatted off, and looks like there's a foul here.
And there we go. Just need a little bit of life for Washington State. You hit the 3-pointer, then you get a nice defensive stop, and all of a sudden you can feel some energy. You can feel some energy in the fans. Maybe this is how they are going to turn it around and go on a little bit of a run here.
You can definitely feel the momentum shifting in this arena. Calmeese is back in here as he swings it off to the corner. That is Eric Strupp, and Eric Strupp sinks it from 3. And this game, and this lead is cut down to 10 years. Looks like these Cougs are up now. Someone lit a fire up in these Cougar Cats, and this game is now only a 10-point game here. As Miller pump fakes it. Hands it back off to Henderson. Back off to the big fella. Miller. Triple threat. Gets packed. That one is deflected, and it looks like it is off Johnson. Isaiah Johnson, that is.
And we're seeing redshirt freshman Parker Garrett's coming into the game for the first time for Wazoo. Sat on the bench last season. He's one of only 2 returners. We'll see how he does getting his first action as a Cougar. A local guy from the state of Washington.
There's Garrett as he finds Eric Strupp on that connection. There is Eric Strupp. Hits it from downtown. And this is now only a 7-point game. As you can hear the crowd get back into it.
Yeah, all of a sudden there's a lot of life. Cougars are starting to shoot. And like I said, they weren't going to hit 0% forever.
As there is Tracy, or Miller, excuse me, there on the easy 2. As he gets the layup there.
And there's more points for the Cougs and an and 1. That's going to help.
Yeah, as Isaiah Watts goes strong into the paint, into that right baseline area, and puts up the 2 and gets the foul as Washington State has cut this lead in half and is only down by 7 now. We're going to go in a game break. We will be right back with you, ladies and gentlemen. That was better. Yeah. I was looking a little rusty.
Fans of the app, pick up your COOVERT for all punch card. Please head to the marketing table. 3 lucky fans will have an opportunity to win $500, 1,000, or 4 plus tickets to the WSU versus Wyoming football game. Thanks to Visa Colombia. All you have to do is go to Sports Group.
Is there an extra WSU roster somewhere around here?
No, but you can have this.
Yeah. I don't need it right now. Welcome back to KUGR Radio here as Washington State got off to a very, very, very sluggish start to start this game, but is on a 12-2 run here over in the last 2 minutes and 45 seconds here. Levi, if Washington State wants to finish out this half strong, what are some keys here?
Just keep playing smart basketball and really don't let it get to your head. Don't start just shooting threes as they shoot another one and miss. But, yeah, I mean, just play smart basketball and lock in on defense.
As Eli mentioned, Eric Strupp was unsuccessful in that 3 as he missed that one from about 37 feet away. As that one is stolen by Curtis. And that 3 is hit by Calmes. As he gets his first points as a Coug.
Yeah, that was a huge shot to make, cut the lead to 4. And all of a sudden, we're seeing Portland State struggle to shoot.
Yeah, just as you mentioned here, Eli, after getting off to a surging start from shooting and not even missing, not even being almost unconscious and not even be able to missing a 3, Portland State is having a little trouble here, finding the back iron. As Calmes finds an open Price, that is, in the counter, and that one missed. But looks like this one's staying here. It's Eric Strupp. Back off to Garrett. As Calmes looks to get something going himself here, as that was a nice looking acrobatic layup there.
And Calmes kind of did the NBA style double step up into the rim. Good for him.
As a this foul is called here on Parker Garrett's. Garrett's was a little aggressive on that one. As Habib gets it. Back off to the big fella in the post. Nice looking feed there as Miller finds an open Johnson there. As that was a good feed. And fouls before the play here.
Foul on Zeros, Cole Farrell. That's his third personal. 16 foul on the Lightning.
Portland State shooting 50% here, and Washington State's shooting 53% now, and tables have turned a little bit here.
Yeah, certainly have, and this is where those fouls start to come back to bite Portland State. They're giving Wazoo a lot of second chances, and Wazoo is starting to make the most of them.
Looks like this one's staying with Washington State on the sideline here. As that one is sent off there, as Coward was looking for it. Zabib backed off to Johnson. As Johnson with a pretty looking feed, as he just dumps out on off to the right side and finds an open Habib there. This one is now 27-21 here. As Garrett looked to bounce back there with the three, but couldn't hit it.
And a quick turnover. Portland State trying to go on the fast break. Wazoo's going to get the ball right back. Noel coming back into the game for Portland State. Oh, yikes. Man, the ball Cedric Coward just kicked the ball out of bounds. That's going to be another turnover, I believe, on the Cougs. Or did it bounce off a Portland State player? And I guess it is. Yeah, they're going to call it, not that it bounced off, but it was a foul. Coward was tripped, I guess. That's how he kicked the ball out. So he's going to get a chance to shoot some free throws. That's the 7th foul on Portland State. The Vikings just have to avoid these fouls if they want to stay competitive in this game.
Yeah, as we mentioned earlier, this is a very different looking Washington State roster with only 2 players returning from last year. So, it's kind of hard to really compare this season to last season as just two completely different seasons.
And there's another miss by Noel. He's been struggling today to find his shot.
Looks like there's a foul there, as Ethan Price was fouled on that one. Looks like we're going to have a game break here. We'll be right back with you. Welcome back to KOGR Radio here, as Washington State is down by 6 here, 21-27, with 7 minutes and 52 seconds left to go in this first half. As Cedric Coward has 2 free throws. As he knocks down the first one to cut this lead down to 5. And he nails the second one. As Noel back off to Habib. That big fella Miller's been busy earlier tonight as he gets it back on the high key. As it's kicked off from Habib to Miller, and that one is not good, as that one's off the front iron. Washington State gets the ball back here. Is an easy looking dunk there by Ethan Price as he drove through the paint effortlessly and slammed that one down and cuts this lead to 2 here. Looks like there's a foul on the floor there. As Portland State's currently in a 2-minute scoring drought.
And that is their 8th foul. Wazoo again getting some help from Portland State. They'll take it. They're only down by 2. Almost have come all the way back.
And a sloppy looking pass, very careless pass there from Portland State as they turn over the ball. Coward. Excuse me, that is Watts. As Watts with a strong take, puts it up and puts it in. And this game is tied here. As Isaac Johnson got hacked there, and he's going to go to the line. The first one is hit there. First free throw is knocked down. As Isaiah Johnson's having a strong start to the campaign here so far. He's 10 points, 4 for 5. Misses that second free throw. As Watts pumps it. Uses the defender as a shield and puts up that layup, and could have argued a foul should have been called there, but a lot of contact, no call. Anyway, Washington State's up by 1 here.
Yeah, first lead of the day for Wazoo. They come all the way back. They've done it by just playing smart and not letting it get away from them.
Isaiah Johnson back off to the big fella Miller. As he finds an open Jalen Henderson, and Jalen Henderson misses that. 3 from the corner. As Watts to Eric Strupp. Back off to Isaiah Watts. Isaiah Watts with an absolute rocket to Eric Strupp. That one is no good. Rebound. The second chance opportunity prevails as Isaiah Watts hits that one from downtown. And Washington State is up by 4 here with 5 minutes to go in this first period. As Terry Miller looks to quiet down this hot Washington State 11-1 run.
And those first 5 minutes really seem to have been a bit of a mirage for Portland State. They don't seem to be nearly as good as they were those first 5 minutes. So a bit of a first game mirage that we were seeing, but Washington State now is in control, and yeah, they're only up by 4, but it feels like they have all the momentum right now, and it feels like it would be pretty difficult for them to lose it, but we'll see how this thing plays out.
As Portland State gets the ball back here, as that one looked like it deflected off Isaiah Watts' knee. Isaiah Johnson fades that one off from the wing, but that one misses. As Watts try to find an open Eric Strupp in that corner, but he missed. He got his own rebound. He is fouled, and it looks like he's heading to the line.
First person, 19 fouls. Number 32.
Yeah, this game is really kind of getting away from Portland State now all of a sudden.
Yeah, just as we talked about Washington State not being able to really make a shot to start this game, it seems like they have infected Portland State with whatever shooting drought they had, as Portland State is 0 for their last 5 and have not scored in over 2 minutes here. As Washington State is all of a sudden on a 7-0 run, as Eric Strupp knocks down that second free throw, and Washington State is up 34-28 here with a little bit over 4 minutes to go in this first period. As Shane Noel gets that one on the low post, triple threat, finds an open Tate Spencer, as Tate Spencer missed it, but he got his own rebound and puts that one up for 2. And this one is now 34-30 here with 3 minutes and 34 seconds left. As Watts with a very nice move, he dazzled behind the back, lost control as he was going up for the layup there. And it looks like it's staying Washington State ball. Oh, there's a foul there, excuse me. And looks like we're going to be going on a game break real quick. We will be right back with you. We welcome you back to KIVIAT Radio. As Washington State is up 34-30 with a little bit over 3 minutes and 30 seconds to go in this first half. Levi, how about this turnaround from this Washington State offense as they couldn't seem to find anything to get going early in the first quarter, but starting to shoot the ball a lot better here.
Yeah, it's been pretty impressive. You know, they may have had some kind of first game jitters, but it's really come together for them.
As Myers does quite a lot of dribble moves and is fouled.
And that is the 5th foul from the Cougs. So Portland State will, from here on out, they'll be getting bonus.
As dangerous pass there to Curtis. Luckily, Curtis is 6'11". He's able to reach that one. As Myers isolates, he dribbles. Strong take there as he draws the foul. And he's going to the line. As you see, he uses defender.
And Keon Myers, who was just fouled there, having an interesting first game. No points yet. Hasn't really shot much. He's from Western Oregon. That's where he transferred from. He's from Fresno, California, same place as both Isaiah Watts and Cedric Coward, but all three of them went to different high schools, so they may have played against each other at Fresno, but we don't know that. But they did not play in the same high school. But a little bit of a fun fact, I'm sure they played against each other, so probably has some experience playing against Coward and Watts.
Nice looking feed there by Myers as he finds an open. Noel on the play there. As it looks like there's a foul on Portland State. And as we mentioned before, Washington State is in the bonus, so it looks like Eric Strupp is going to the line.
That's Price at the line.
Oh, excuse me, Price, sorry. As Price misses the first one. So far, scoring leaders for Washington State is Isaiah Watts with 8 points. He's shooting 2 for 2. Second, we have his brother, Lehawan Watts, with 6 points. And Coward has 4.
And just to clarify, they are not brothers.
They are not brothers. Excuse me. As Watts, just as we talked about him, is fed off there by Calmise and he puts up a nice looking layup there. His first free throw is hit here by Myers. And Myers hits the second one as it's 39-34 Cougs here. As Coward gets it. Back off the Price. As Calmes behind the back to Watts. Watts short on that one. As he went for that mid-range on the low post. As that is Miller who misses the three. It looks like there's a foul being called here. And Washington State's in the bonus. So Lewan Watts will be shooting 2 here.
Lewan Watts is on the line at the floor. He'll be shooting 2.
And he misses the first free throw. Knocks down the second. As we have a little bit over 1 minute and 40 seconds left to go in this first half. As Myers back off to Johnson. Finds Myers again. As Miller with a kind of a strange looking shot there, but he just threw it up almost, and he got the foul as he was looking to move across that baseline and is fouled on the shot. And he's going to the line for 2. He hits the first one. And that one rolls, the second free throw rolls in and out. And Washington State looks to keep up the tempo here as Isaiah Watts pulls up from 3. And Watts, same spot, same result as he hits the 3 and gives Washington State an 8-point lead. As Watts did not hesitate 1 second. And we saw quite a lot of that from last year's campaign. And Watts already picking up where he left off last year. As he just nails that one from downtown. As the 1-and-1 is no good, but it looks like there's a violation called on Lewan Watts as he might have jumped a little bit early there.
Not sure what's going on. Coaching staff is having some words for these players. They seem confused on the court right now about something. I guess something to do with their defense. And they're still yelling at each other. Wow, I don't know what's going on down there.
I'm not sure what the confusion is over here, but over something at least. So that free throw is missed. Nice second effort there by Portland State. But luckily for Washington State, Terry Miller stepped out of bounds, and Washington State will get the ball back here with a little bit over 48 seconds left in this first quarter. First half, I should say.
Portland State rushing to get their subs on the court. Under a minute left. If you're Washington State, you probably don't want to be super aggressive here. Don't give them a chance to get some momentum going into the half.
Brings the ball up here. And just completely ran over to the defender there. No regard for human life there. Just completely trucked the defender over in offensive foul. As Myers slows things down here. The pump fake. The pump fake and the score by Habib. And Washington State's going to call a quick timeout here. As Habib with a nice looking pump fake there. Took a dribble, stepped off, and boom. Canned it from three.
So Washington State, still a relatively small lead, 5 points. Hoping to expand it maybe by a couple more before they go into the half, but in a pretty good spot, I would say. You see David Riley down there giving a little pep talk, and he seems like the players are all in pretty calm spirits right now. Interesting to see if we see any more guys coming off their bench, particularly junior ND Okafor, who came from Cal. I expected that he would play today, and he has not entered the game yet. It'll be interesting to see if they get him any action, or potentially maybe he is dealing with an injury.
As it looks like Washington State will get the final shot here to end this half. As Watts back off to beautiful find there as Calmes hits the three, and there's 4 seconds left. Oh, wow. And the dunk is missed.
Wow, Calmes, how about that? The UW transfer already with a couple of big threes for the Cougs and helping the Cougs to a 8-point lead at halftime. How about it?
Yeah, you got to be satisfied. You got to be satisfied if you're WSU, considering where they started the half and where they ended the half.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
They were down by how much? 21-4, right?
Yeah, they were down by like 17 points to start the game. And they wind up by 8 here to end this first half. This has been a fun one here so far. We're going to go on a break for halftime. We will be right back with you soon, folks.
Welcome back, KUGR Student Radio. We are 1.5 minutes away from the second half. Washington State leading Portland State Vikings by 8 points, 46-38. Levi COOVERT here alongside Dylan KIVIAT. KIVIAT? KIVIAT.
Yeah, same difference though.
And we are live from Beasley Coliseum. First half, the Cougs trailed by 17. And then it was all Cougs from there. They went on a 25 to, they led by 25 from there. So they ended up scoring 42 over the Portland State 17. Just a massive run for the Cougs. And really, they did it by not letting the game get away from them. They could have very easily started to get stressed, started to start pressing. And if they were to start pressing, it would have been a rough time for them because I think Portland State would have taken advantage. But instead, Washington State sat back. They got fouled a bunch. That helped. They got some free points. They got some free second chances, and they really took control.
Yeah, as you mentioned, we kind of saw the Cougs. They were, a little bit sloppy, a little bit careless to kind of start that first quarter. But towards the end of the half, they definitely picked up their play and kind of looked like the Cougs that we remember from last year.
Yeah, and it's interesting. It's a very different team, but they are starting to play a very similar style of basketball, I'd say. It is a little bit slower, and it's a little bit less, what's the word? It's a little bit less of a spark. I think last year's Cougs, they played with maybe some more, it was more not necessarily as complete of a team, but last year's Cougs, they could, if they needed to, they could have some special. And I haven't seen necessarily all the special yet today, but I've seen a just all-around complete game.
Yeah, obviously it's still game one. Very, very long season. It is still very, very early, and I'm sure down the line we'll see some important chemistry develop from these Cougs.
Yeah, long season indeed. Portland State starting with the ball. It's Keon Myers down to Johnson, and now it's tipped off by a Coug. Portland State regains control. Noel over to Minot, who gets the point. So 46-40, Cougs dribbling down the court. Coward over to Calmise, over to Price for the three, and he's got it. 6-3. Cougs now leading 49-40. Keon Myers taking it down for Portland State. And again, down to Isaiah Johnson. Johnson to Noel. Then back to Minot. And now it's Jalen Henderson who hits a three-pointer. So both teams exchanging threes early in the second half. Calmise down the line for the Cougs. Over to Price. And now Coward in the corner for a three. Bounces off. Rebound by Portland State. And Portland State attempting a three. That was Henderson, and now it looks like a foul being called on Washington State. What are you seeing so far here, Dylan?
Yeah, Washington State kind of similar to what we saw in the start of the first half. Off to a little bit of a sloppy start here, but, still got this whole quarter to clean up, whatever this mess may be right now.
So it's Trayvon Minot, transfer from South Carolina, who is at the line for Portland State. It was a shooting foul on the Cougs. Makes the first. Minot comes from Montreal, up in Canada. 6'9". And the second one bounces off the rim, so Wazoo gets possession again. Calmise taking it down the court. He's done a fine job today at point guard. Over to Coward, then over to Eric Strupp. Eric Strupp into the key, Ethan Price, and he's fouled by Portland State. And that was Isaiah Johnson who fouled him.
Foul number 22, Isaiah Johnson.
So it looks like he's going to come to the line. That is a shooting foul. Price has played almost the whole game for Washington State in his first game as a Coug. Also an international player. He comes from St. Edmunds, England. And Coug's going to take a timeout. So We'll take a short little break on the timeout. We'll be right back with you. Well, we bring you back. KUGR Student Radio, Voice of the Palouse. Dylan, what are you seeing so far? Only a minute and a half into the second half.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to really say just because it really hasn't been, too much time into this second half. But I'm looking to see how much Washington State can get Cedric Coward going here obviously he's the prominent highly touted after player. Pretty much we've been hearing about him all offseason. Pretty much he's the main replacement for Miles Rice and Isaac Jones and I wonder I want to see how much he can get going here in the second half as he only has 4 points here, shooting 1 for 5. So look to see if he can get going here.
So Ethan Price, he made his first free throw and he makes the second. Cougars now leading by 7, 51-44. Taking it down the court is Jalen Henderson for Portland State. He dribbles inside and loses control of the ball. Looked like that one bounced off the outside of his right foot and it went out of bounds. So Cougars going to regain possession. Ethan Price.
5 current WSU players were named the Freshman of the Year for their respective conference prior to arriving at WSU. This includes Nate Kamesi, Cedric Coward, as you mentioned, Dane Erickstrup, Ethan Price, and Lawan Watts.
How about that? That's impressive.
Yeah, and as we mentioned earlier, the only returning players from Washington State this year are Isaiah Watts and Parker Garrett.
So Portland State, they went down. Washington State, went down. They also turned the ball over. So Henderson again for Portland State, making a 3-point attempt, and it's no good. Rebound Coward, and the whistle blown. And it looks like that is going to be also on Washington State. It's on Calmise. And so all of a sudden, Washington State getting into some early trouble. Already 3 fouls, only 2 minutes into this second half. So inbounding, it's going to be Myers. Myers to Johnson. And an easy shot off the backboard for him, 51-46. And a quick steal from Portland State. They get the ball right back. They steal it from Coward on the inbound.
There's that sloppiness we mentioned.
Terry Miller had a pretty easy shot, misses it though, and it was in and out of the hoop, and then the whistle blows again. And that's again on Washington State. And the Washington State coaching staff is a little bit fired up right now on the sidelines. So Wazoo now is going to inbound it. Ethan Price at the back line, and he sends it in to Watts. Watts going in, going for the layup, and it is off the rim. Rebound, Coward, and he gets it in on the second chance. So it's 53-46. And Wazoo's going to get the ball back.
Nice hustle play there by Calmes. So he lights a spark in the defense and gets a much-needed turnover for this WSU defense. And Washington State is back with the ball.
53-46. The Cougs with the ball. Calmes to inbound. And he'll inbound it to Price at the top of the key. Price hands it off back to Calmes. Calmes going in for the layup. Again, off the rim. Second chance, no. Portland State gets it back. It's Henderson going quick. Henderson to Noel. Noel for the three. And it's off the rim. That's his 5th three-point miss of the day. He gets control. He's fighting with Ethan Price for the ball. They're down on the court, and that might be a jump ball. And nope, looks like they might be going against Wazoo. It's against Ethan Price. So Price he tried to wrestle Shane Noel to the ground for control of the basketball. Definitely, yeah, I mean, some first game stuff is going on right now. They're just some mistakes from both teams that you don't normally see, and that's to be expected. You know, they haven't played a competitive basketball game since March. For a lot of these guys, they haven't done it since February because outside of Isaiah Watts and a couple other transfers, most of these guys were not in the tournament, so they haven't played since February. Portland State has the ball. Keont Myers. They're going to try to set the screen, but it doesn't end up working out. Myers now over to Curtis for three, and he's got it. Portland State cuts the lead back to 4. Coward taking it down for the Cougs. Coward over to Calmes. Calmes left side of the court, now top of the key to Eric Strupp. Eric Strupp surveying. Looking for something. Really great defense from Terry Miller Jr., who comes away with the steal.
A nice heads-up defense there by Terry Miller as he just swiped it away and was able to get his hands on that ball and get a key takeaway here for Portland State.
So Portland State's going to inbound it, and it is Hayden Curtis. Hayden Curtis, fun fact, he transferred to Portland State from the University of Portland. That is a short transfer to go from one school in the same city to the other. As Curtis passes it to Miller. Miller to the outside. Noel for three, and another miss for Noel. Now he tries it for the second chance, and wow, over the back of his head, over the shoulder, and Shane Noel finally has points on the board. 9 shots it took him, but he finally does have some points, and that was a spectacular play.
Looks like Noel was watching some early John Wall videos there as he just absolutely hung under the paint and was able to really hang on there and get that acrobatic layup to go.
And that is what you see out of Noel. You're seeing some flashes. He was initially recruited. He was a 3-star recruit who went to Arizona, but he just never found his footing in Arizona. He transferred to UNLV, where he played as a 6th man, and then he ended up coming here as a senior. So he's been a kind of a journeyman, but you still see some flashes of the guy who was once recruited by one of the best basketball schools in the country. With that, we're on a timeout, so we will take a quick break. We'll be right back with you. This is KUGR. And we are right back into it. Watts taking it down the court for Wazoo, who is holding on to a 2-point lead right now, 53-51. And Watts going for the layup, misses. Terry Miller Jr. on the rebound, exchanging some words with Lawan Watts. Terry Miller Jr., one of 2 transfers from Louisiana Tech. The other one is Jalen Henderson. And they have both played a big role in their debuts with Portland State. But he was actually fouled, so at the line is Watts, and he makes his first. 54-51 now is the score. And he makes it again. Well, last year was a historic year for the Cougs. They were ranked. They went to the March Madness, ended up losing in the second round, but they won a game of the tournament. First time they'd done that in nearly 2 decades. It was also the first time in school history that both their football, women's basketball, and men's basketball teams were ranked at some point during the season. So for what it's worth, they got left behind by the Pac-12, but it feels like their athletics is at an all-time high right now. There's Terry Miller Jr. going for the layup, misses it. Noel tries to save it. Instead, he gives it right back to the Cougs. Isaiah Watts going for the layup, now shoots it back out. Top of the key, and it's Ethan Price from the top of the key who hits a 3-point shot, and it's now 58-51.
Beautiful hit there by Price as he was wide open.
Noel now with the ball for Portland State, top of the key. He bounces it out to Ismail Habib. Habib to Terry Miller Jr. Jr. back to Habib.
It's worth noting that Ethan Price during last season was a 38% three-point shooter. So definitely don't want to leave that guy open from 3.
No, you do not. Portland State, they do make a shot, so it's 58-53. Cougs up by 5. Coward fakes him out, now going for the mid-range, and he hits it. Cougs leading by 7. It's 60-53, Washington State. Into the game for Wazoo is Rahards Vavers for just the second time today. He is guarding Keont Myers. Myers testing him. Now Myers goes to the top of the key. It's Curtis. Curtis hits a 3-pointer, and it's again a 4-point game. So both of these teams right now are shooting the ball very well in the second half. Taking it up now for the Cougs is Lawan Watts. Watts for the layup, now bounces it out. Coward from the corner, and he hits a 3. Everybody's hitting 3s today for the Cougs, and you asked for Coward to have a big second half. He is having a great start to the second half so far.
Absolutely, and you knew it was only a matter of time before he was going to get going, as he's now up to 11 points here. And he's shooting 4 for 8, not to mention has 10 rebounds on the day too.
Well, Portland State, Hayden Curtis just dunked on Wazoo to cut the lead back to 5, and now the whistle blows. Not sure what the call is there. And it's a foul on Ethan Price. Price was fouled. Price inbounds it into Calmes. Calmes dribbling, going for the layup again, shoots it out. Same play as last time. This time it was Isaiah Watts, not able to make the 3, but I like the look. He was wide open in the corner.
It was a great look. Just unfortunate that Watts couldn't hit that one.
Cole Farrell now into the game for Portland State as he goes in for a layup, misses. Vavers with the rebound, pass to Coward.
State has numbers.
And there it is. Coward again, another 3-pointer. And it's an 8-point lead for the Cougs. It's 66-58.
And we can see why Washington State was so excited about Coward.
Oh yeah.
Coward is taking over this second half here and really giving the boost that Washington State needed here. as if you recall, it was almost like David Riley and Cedric Coward came as a package deal as they both came from the same place. Both came from Eastern Washington University.
And it looks like there was a foul called on somebody.
Looks like it was. Think of
Foul was on Vavers. Rehards Vavers, who comes over from Quinnipiac. He's a sophomore who hails from Latvia, not a country that we hear much about, Latvia. So going up to the line for the shot was Trayvon Minot. He misses it. Coug get the rebound, so Cougars basketball. Calmees taking it down the court. Calmees makes one man miss, now going in, looking for the layup, and he's got it. And the Cougs now lead by 10. This is their biggest lead of the night. It's 68-58. And they would love to just keep extending this lead and not have to stress during the last couple minutes of this one. But Portland State is trying to foster up a comeback. The whistle blows again. It was a missed shot from Cole Farrell. Still not sure what's going on with the Cougs as far as ND Okafor is concerned.
Yeah,
Gotta guess he may be hurt because I really did expect him to play tonight.
Yeah.
But he is not. It looks like he's not going to play tonight.
Disappointing, especially considering he's coming from the same conference Washington State was in. So, yeah, not looking like he's going to get in the game.
He actually played with Trayvon Minot of Portland State. They both went to NBA Academy down in Latin America. But have to wonder, probably just an injury. But I think I'm seeing him down there. Yeah, he's in sweatpants. So he is not, he's definitely out for this game. It'll be interesting to see, people thought maybe he could actually be a starter for this team. And maybe he still will be. When you think, he comes from Cal, these other guys came from Eastern Washington. Not to make a statement about the Eastern Washington basketball program, but you have to think Cal might be a little bit better. But Eastern Washington hasn't been bad. They won the Big Sky Conference a couple of years ago. A lot of these guys were on that team. Last year, they went to the Big Sky championship game. They got upset by Sacramento State, but they did get there. And winning records each of the past 2 years, 21-11, 23-11. It's a timeout right now on the court. We'll take a quick break. Welcome back. Washington State leading by 10, their biggest lead of the night. Almost halfway through the second half. And at the line right now for Portland State is Trayvon Minot. He missed his last one. He makes this one. It's 68-59. Washington State, same lineup out there as it was before. So Vavers is in, both Watts, Price, and Calmees. And he makes the second one, so it's 68-60. Portland State trying to make a comeback. Last year, Portland State was 17-15, their first winning record under their current head coach, Jace Coburn. He's in his 4th season there. And it looks like that's going to be a foul. Cole Farrell kind of stepping over the leg of Nate Calmes. And that's the 4th foul of the night for Cole Farrell. So he is all of a sudden in trouble of being fouled out.
Fun fact of the day, Portland State has actually never beaten Washington State, as Washington State is 10-0 against them.
That's an impressive run of dominance for Wazoo. Last time they played was last year, right?
Yep. Last time they played, Washington State was victorious 71-61 December last year. So
it was a relatively close game,
Yeah.
71-61.
But let's just say that, this is not the most friendly building for Portland State, at least from a historical standpoint.
No, it is not. And Portland State, they were picked to finish 5th this year in the Big Sky. Washington State was picked to finish 5th in the West Coast Conference. The difference is the West Coast Conference is considered a stronger conference than the Big Sky. Obviously, Gonzaga and St. Mary's at the top of that conference. And it'll be interesting to see how Wazoo matches up against those two schools as Vavers going for the 3, bounces off the rim. Watts on the rebound. Watts out to Price. Price bounces it into Isaiah Watts. Watts with the mid-range jumper, and it's an air ball rebounded by Hayden Curtis, and the whistle blows. And it's a foul on Shane Noel. And it's been a tough debut for Shane Noel. Obviously missing all those 3-point attempts, and a couple of fouls have gone against him. Only 2 points. Coming from UNLV, I think he hoped he would be able to be a star with Portland State, and he still can be. Isaiah Watts makes the first shot. Is he still leading the Cougs in points? Yeah, 12 points for Watts.
Yeah.
Cougs up by 9. 69-60, 11 minutes to go.
Yeah, Isaiah Watts is the leading figure here with whole starting 5 pretty much all around the same level, excluding Vavers.
And remember, Watts came off the bench, but it's interesting right now. If you're the Cougs, you may have to consider going forward, kind of playing the 2-guard starting lineup, because Watts and Calmes have probably been their 2 best players so far tonight, along with Cedric Coward. But as a 6th man, Watts has been brilliant tonight. Vavers with the ball, under some pressure right now. And now it's Calmes. Calmes going into the key, now bounces it out. Isaiah Watts for 3, and he hits it. The Cougs extend the lead. It's now 73-60. And how about Isaiah Watts, 15 points in the night? Portland State moving quick, trying to get some comeback points. Terry Miller Jr. misses a shot, and Ethan Price on the rebound. So Cougs are really starting to control this game. We are now 3 quarters into it. Calmes with the ball, top of the key for the Cougs. Calmes going into the key now, looking for the layup, and he's got it, and they're saying it didn't count. It's a travel, and it's going to be Portland State basketball.
I am very, very surprised they called the travel on that one. Looks like Calmes just got an extra step there.
Yeah, to be honest, I didn't catch that travel either, but I guess there was. So now it is going to be Keont Myers taking it down.
Portland State has not scored in their last 3 minutes, as they're 0 for their last 6. As seems like cold spells seem to be a trend here in like the 9-8 minute part of the first and second half for whatever reason. I don't know what it is, but Portland State seems to go cold, at least this time of year, around this time in the clock.
Yeah, and speaking of cold, man, it's a cold night in Pullman, Washington. I was walking over here only about 7 o'clock. It was a blistering. It was about 42, but it felt even colder than that because of the wind. Washington State, of course, basketball inside doesn't really affect them, but yeah, it is winter. It's starting to feel like winter here in Pullman. And the Cougs thrive in the winter weather. That's how they've upset UW so many times, both in basketball and football. It's when it's snowy and cold out, they get into other teams' heads. Terry Miller Jr., by the way, he just hit back-to-back free throws. So the Cougs lead by 11. And gonna inbound is Lawan Watts. Watts kicking it out to Calmise. Calmise is being double teamed right now. Portland State is on a full court press. They left Eric Strip wide open. Eric Strip to Coward. Coward now to Watts. And Watts was, again, being double teamed, and the ball just went out of bounds. He struggled to catch that pass. Washington State thinks they should have it. They think it was off the hands of Portland State, and I guess it was. So Watts is going to inbound it now. Lawan Watts is on the inbound. Isaiah Watts is in the corner, but he's going to pass it all the way up to the top. It's Calmise. Calmise at the point guard, and intercepted by Jalen Henderson. Henderson going quick. Henderson, a nice layup to take the points on a bit of a fast break play. 73-64. Cougs still lead by 9. Calmise takes it back, and again, stolen. Terry Miller Jr., and he gets the fast break points, and all of a sudden, Portland State finding some life. Timeout, Cougs. And the Cougs as 73-66. They still lead by 7. 9 minutes to go. Portland State not going down yet. We'll be right back with you after a quick timeout. So Washington State with possession, a 7-point lead. Cedric Coward, we welcome you back to KGR Radio. Cedric Coward taking it down the court, pass to Watts. Watts down to Eric Strupp. Eric Strupp to Cal Meese. And it looks like that was a foul against Portland State. And that was on KIVIAT Myers. Coward's going to get 2 because Wazoo's already in bonus. Both teams are already in bonus. It's still 9 minutes to go. Coward coming up to the line. Makes the first. And he makes the second. So Cedric Coward giving the Cougs a 9-point lead. Taking it down now is KIVIAT Myers. Myers over to Henderson. Henderson up to Johnson. Johnson back to Myers, down to Miller. Miller inside the key, up to Myers. Back to Habib, and then back to Myers again. Lots of passes right now. They need to get a shot off. Shot clock down to 6, 5, and now a travel, and it's Washington State basketball. So they took their sweet time looking for a shot, didn't end up getting the chance to take it. Washington State is going to inbound. It'll be Lawan Watts. Watts to Coward. Coward to Cal Meese. Cal Meese going to take it out for the Cougs. Wazoo with a 9-point lead, 8:20 to go. Top of the key, Eric Strupp, back to Cal Meese. Cal Meese going in, back to Eric Strupp. Eric Strupp with the layup, and he's got it. 77-66. It's the multiples of 11 score right now in Pullman. Wazoo leading by 11. Miller thinks he has a shot, doesn't, now dribbles into the key. Miller looking for the layup, behind the shoulder, nice play.
The big fella with the ability to not only get to the basket, but hit that turnaround shot.
And there's Washington State. They went for the alley-oop, missed it the first time, missed the second chance, but then Cedric Coward nails it the third chance.
As Coward's been a busy man here, at least in the second half.
Tipped it up to himself, got his own rebound, but they're saying the points didn't count. They're saying it's a foul, so I guess that's not going to count. And it's, guess what, another timeout. So the timeouts are flying off the board right now. It is Washington State Cougars 77, Portland State Vikings 68. We'll be right with you after another quick break. Well, welcome you back. Washington State carrying a 9-point lead. Dylan, what are you seeing so far in the second half?
Yeah, I'm seeing a mix of things. Like, I'm seeing Washington State on one side of the ball, they're a little bit careless and turning over the ball pretty easily. But on the other side of the ball, they're being aggressive. They're getting the extra pass. They're getting the second chance points. Seems like they're doing overall a lot of things better than they were in the first half. It seemed like they just couldn't first half, they couldn't get it all together, but second half it seems like it's all kind of coming along here.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Wazoo now leading by 11. They made both free throws. KIVIAT Myers taking it down the court. Myers to Johnson, Isaiah Johnson, and he's intercepted. He tried to pass it out to the outside to Henderson, but Lawan Watts was right there. Watts bringing it up for the Cougs. Watts to Vivers. Vivers to Price. Price inside. Coward puts it up. And the Cougs now lead again by 13, 81-68. 7 minutes to go. Game starting to wind down. Cougars with a double-digit lead. Johnson to Henderson. Henderson to Myers. Cougs playing solid defense right now. Really trying to just defend the hoop. They're giving them those three-point shots. They're just not taking them right now. And it looks like that may be a foul against Wazoo, though. It is. It's on Lawan Watts. So Wazoo, 10 fouls in this second half. Going up to the line is Trayvon Minot once again, the Canadian. Comes from the SEC all the way to Portland State. Couldn't get much more different from South Carolina to Portland in terms of geographics. But he's definitely getting an increased role in Portland. And he makes both free throws. So it's 81-70. Cougars. So they kind of pulled away. And they've now kind of just been coasting with about a 10 to 12 point lead. Price with the ball, top of the key. Price being guarded by Miller. He pumps it out to Eric Strupp, now at the top of the key. Eric Strupp over to Coward, right side, and now the whistle blows again, and that's on Wazoo again, I believe. Wazoo coaches are on their feet. It's on Lawan Watts again. And he's out of this game. That's his 5th personal foul. So in his debut with the Cougars, Lawan Watts has fouled out. But it was still a solid debut. He ends up with 11 points, 4 for 8 from the field. So a good debut for Lawan Watts, but unfortunately cut short. Will not be able to play the final 6.5 minutes. Game continues. Portland State with the ball down by 11. KIVIAT Myers, top of the key. Miller tries to just set the screen for him. Calmi stays on him. Pass to Miller. Miller, nice little shot there.
As Miller just turns around and hits the hook shot.
And there's Calmes coming right back at him. So Cougs still leading by 11. 83-72 now is the score. Miller again with the ball. Miller looking for something for Portland State. He passes it to Habib. Habib going into the key and may have been fouled there by Vavers, I think. And it is. It's on Richard Vavers. Vavers has gotten a lot of playing time, especially in this second half. They clearly like what he has to offer. We have not seen much of Parker Garrett. We haven't seen him at all, in fact, in the second half. Habib misses his first shot, his first free throw. Looking to cut the lead back to 10. 5:50 to go, so still time for Portland State to try to muster a comeback. And he makes the second one. Last time Portland State played Eastern Washington was last February. They lost 90-77. Shaping up to be maybe a similar score in this one. Of course, similar rosters, same coaches.
As Calmise knocks that one down from 3.
Calmise has sure had a great debut. Comes from the University of Washington. You love to see when a Husky comes to play for Wazoo, and he has been really good tonight. They made him kiss the Cougar logo.
As he's doing it on both sides of the ball.
And now he misses tried to dunk it there. You can see he's a little bit embarrassed, but a great steal nonetheless. When Washington beat Wazoo last year in Pullman, Calmise was the one who danced on the Cougar logo in front of the Cougar fans. And so when he got to Wazoo, they made him kiss the Cougar logo to prove his loyalty. But it sure looks like he is loyal now.
Well, yeah, I think that should be a requirement for any player coming from a rival school. You know, like gotta make sure you can trust the guy. You know.
Exactly right. Calmise now with the ball top of the key. He passes it to Price. Price maybe thinking about a 3. Now passes to Calmise. Good defense from Portland State, and now a steal, but he throws it out of bounds. So Shane Noel thought he had the steal, but instead he knocks it out of bounds. Wazoo basketball. And Washington State play resumes. Coward from the corner misses, and fighting for it is Noel and Isaiah Watts. And it's going to be Portland State basketball. Watts knocked it out of bounds. Isaiah Johnson going to inbound. He inbounds it to Keon Myers. Myers being guarded by Calmise. Calmise playing well, and now all of a sudden the whistle blows, and that's a foul on Calmise. That's his 3rd personal foul. I couldn't really tell what the foul was there. Could you, Dylan?
Yeah, honestly,
it looked to me like he was just playing defense, but they got him on the foul.
Yeah, looks like the officials are kind of getting together here and talking it out.
Either way, they are in bonus, so it's going to be some point attempt for Myers. He'll get 2 free throws, and he misses the first. Bounces off the rim. Both teams have missed some free throws today, but Portland State has struggled worse. 63% right now is what they're shooting from the three-point line. Wazoo, 79%. Wazoo struggled early from the free throw line. They've been a lot better in the second half. Calmise taking it out for the Cougs, who lead by 12. 4.5 minutes to go. Calmise passes it to Coward. Coward to Watts. Watts, top of the key. Watts back to Coward. Coward to Eric Strupp. Back to Coward again. Coward, the shot, and he makes it from the three-point.
Made that look easy, too.
And for the first time today, Wazoo leads by 15 points, their largest lead yet.
As Coward is now up to 21 points here. He's now the clear leading scorer. As Calmise is fouled on that one before he can even do anything.
Yeah, good attempt there. Calmise got the steal, and I guess Keon Myers fouled him right after he stole it. And now a timeout being called. And so with 3 minutes and 53 seconds to go, Wazoo has the ball. They have the 15-point lead, and they have all the momentum. You think Portland State makes a comeback here, or do you think this is pretty much it?
I think Washington State they weren't satisfied enough in that first half, and I think that this second half is really them kind of letting it out on Portland State. So, still plenty of time here left, but Portland State, time is ticking. a little bit. You got to be a little bit concerned, because there's 3 minutes and 53 seconds left. Still plenty of time, but you have to be a little bit concerned here if you're Portland State.
So you think they could come back?
I think it's mathematically possible. Do they come back? I don't think so, but you know what I mean. Would I love to see it? Absolutely. I'd love to see a great finish to a game, and would not be opposed to Portland State cutting into this lead. Although would prefer a WSU win, but in for a good basketball game.
Well, as the band plays Man on a Mission, yeah, I will say this. Cedric Coward tonight in the second half, he has been a man on a mission. And he has been proving himself, I think, to the Cougar, to the coaching staff, to his teammates, to the fans, and really showing why he was named to the WCC preseason team. Yeah, he's been really good, making some three-pointers, making some mid-range shots. It's been a lot of Calmese in the second half, and I've been loving it. You asked specifically to see this, and you're getting it. You're getting your wish.
Just what the doctor ordered. Yeah, it's almost like Calmese had a microphone hooked up to the KIVIAT stream and somehow heard what we were saying. I don't know. I mean, something sparked into him. I don't know what happened there, but something worked.
Yeah, and on the meantime, Portland State, their big transfers. Of course, we've seen Jalen Henderson have a decent game. We've seen Terry Miller Jr. play well. Isaiah Johnson's done some good things, but Shane Noel, a guy who they really expected to be a playmaker for them, has really struggled to find his footing in his first game as a Viking. His older brother plays in the NBA, Jalen Noel, former Pac-12 Player of the Year with Washington, now current member of the Detroit Pistons. But Shane Noel, right now, he may need to call his brother for some advice on how to make his three-point shots. As Calmese, he makes his first free throw. And the Cougs now have reached 90 points. You think they get to 100, Dylan?
I think they do. I think with the way they've been scoring in the second half, I think it's almost a given at this point.
Myers taking it up the court.
You're talking about a Washington State starting five that has everyone featuring in that starting lineup in double figures at the moment, which is pretty impressive. Whereas Portland State, you have two guys in double figures, and the rest of your starting lineup as Quentin Myers has 3, Noel has 2, and Jalen Henderson only has 8.
Yeah, for Portland State, it's a bit more of a top-heavy roster right now with Miller. And Miller's carrying a lot of the load as he makes a three-point attempt, and it bounces off the rim way short. Coward on the rebound, 3 minutes to go. Portland State has 3 timeouts left if they want to use them.
As Watts with a little inner Kyrie Irving there as he's showing off the dribble package.
Calmese now with the ball, top of the key, going for the three-pointer, in and out of the hoop. Rebounded by Henderson. Henderson plays very fast. He passes to Myers. Myers out to Noel. And Noel finally makes a three-point shot. Good for him. Shane Noel, his older brother in the NBA, and he finally makes a three-pointer. That's his 5th point of the game. Still a 14-point Wazoo lead, and there's another timeout. When you're down by 14, 2.5 minutes to go, could you make a comeback? Yeah, you could. How likely is it? I don't know. That's the Portland State now with 2 timeouts to go. What do you think Portland State has to do to make a comeback?
I think Portland State. I think one. They have to limit the fast break and transition points as Washington State, as we've seen here in the last few minutes, have been getting pretty easy points all over the place in transition, on fast break, from turnovers. So obviously, if you're Portland State, you kind of have to almost play mistake-free basketball here. There's very little room for error as time is trimming down to 2 minutes and 30 seconds left in this second half. And
Yeah, absolutely. So Price passing it off to Coward. Cougs keeping their starting lineup in the game. Coward to Watts to Eric Strupp, and now a foul, I believe, on Portland State. Portland State head coach lifting his hands in the air. What's going on here, man? But it is a foul. It's on Noel, and it is going to be 2 shots for Ethan Price. And Price sinks the first one. It's 92-77. Wazoo, if he makes this, will take their largest lead of the night yet. And he does. It's 93-77. Washington State with a 16-point lead, 2:21 to go. Keont Myers taking it down for Portland State. Myers, nice dribbling there, gets the layup. Portland State up to 79, and now throwing it all the way down the court. Price hits Isaiah Watts. They tried to do a little bit of a fast break there. Didn't work out. Watts gains possession, though. Pass to Calmise. Calmise, top of the key. Calmise looking for something. Good defense by Portland State. Really good defense by Portland State, actually. Calmise to Price, and Price drills the three-pointer from the top of the key. Ethan Price, what a game he's had. His first game as a Coug. Wazoo leads by 17, their biggest lead of the night. And now there's Keont Myers exchanging another three-pointer. Portland State cuts it back, 96-82. Wazoo up by 14 and another timeout. And you can't help but wonder at this point, when you're down by a minute, or when you only have a minute 32 to go, you're down to 92 seconds, and you're down by 14. Is it worth the timeout? I guess it is. But what can you really do here? If you're the coach of Portland State, what are you telling your guys? Down by 14 with 92 seconds.
Well, listen, I think they know, and I think the coach knows that a comeback is not impossible, but it almost takes like a perfect execution of a minute and 32 seconds.
Yeah.
That means, obviously they're gonna have to foul, and they're gonna need some missed free throws. But that means, they can't have, no more sloppy passes. They can't force any threes. They only have to take good looks. It's a daunting task, and obviously it's not very likely to come back here. But for Portland State, I mean, you got to fight and shot here. That's all you can really ask for. So, but on the counter side though, if you're Washington State, you gotta be so happy with what you've seen from all the newcomers, including Coward and Nate Calmise, and obviously Isaiah Watts is not a newcomer, but he's looked great, as well as Ethan Price has looked great here so far in his debut as well. So
yeah, he has. Price, very impressive. Coward's been very impressive. Dane Erickstrup, a little bit less of a volume for him, but he's still played well in his first game as a Coug. Price inbounds it, finds Calmise. Portland State full court press, double teaming him, and a steal. Maybe Myers tips it up. It was a pass to Erickstrup. Keont Myers tips it up. Portland State playing really fast, and missing a three was Habib, but on the rebound is Miller. Miller kicks it out for another three. That was Keont Myers. He makes it. So Portland State, that was a crazy possession. Some of the fastest you'll ever see them play to cut the lead to 11. It's 96-85, Portland State, and there's the foul. It's foul territory now. Isaiah Johnson fouled Nate Calmise, and so they'll send Calmise to the line with 1 minute exactly on the clock, 59.9 seconds to be precise. Wazoo up by 11, so you're right. If you're Portland State, you need them to miss some of these free throws if you really want to have a chance in this one. Because you still need you're still 4 possessions away from tying this game. And Calmise does miss the first, so that'll help Portland State out.
Calmise last year was an 83% free throw shooter. So, bit of a favorable free throw shooter here. As he misses both.
Misses the second, so that helps Portland State. They still need to make a couple more shots. We'll see if they go for another 3 here. And it looks like they're going to just take the free points. Wazoo left the interior unguarded. Isaiah Johnson for 2. And an interesting call as their lead has been cut to 9. So Portland State still 3 possessions away. They do. Oh, and now that was a timeout for Portland State. So Portland State is now out of timeouts. They cannot stop the clock. Interesting that they would choose to call the timeout there and not wait to see if they can cut the lead a little bit closer, but I guess that's what they're deciding to do. Wazoo still has 2 timeouts if they need them. But with a 9-point lead, Cougars have the ball. You have to think it's getting close to foul territory. But if you're Portland State, you're thinking, if we get a stop, get a 3-pointer, steal it, get another 3, maybe we can get this thing done without fouling. And it's intercepted by Portland State, and now the whistle blows. And it is Wazoo basketball out of bounds on Portland State, it looks like. Portland State just about did it. They just about intercepted the inbound. Price is on the inbound.
Just as we mentioned, it almost seems like Portland State's playing mistake-free here.
And there it is, a great inbound to Isaiah Watts, and that should be enough. As Watts hits it on the rebound. Timeout. No timeout. And it's 98-87, 11-point game. Parker Garrett's back on the court for Wazoo. The kid from Olympia, Washington, in his first game as a Coug, one of the only returners. Henderson passes to Keont Myers. Keont Myers has got it in the key, hits the layup, and actually a shooting foul, I believe, on Eric Strip there. And that may be an and 1 for Portland State.
Portland State refuses to give up here as they continue to fight and chip away as Myers looks to make this an 8-point game.
That is the end of this one for Eric Strupp. That was his 5th foul of the night, so he is going to sit it down with 35 seconds to go and hope his team can finish the job. Myers is going to make the and 1.
Levi, can we see some Reggie Miller kind of like heroics here in the end of this second half? Can Portland State fuel a comeback, or is there too little time?
I think it's definitely got to be too little too late, but that'll help as well. They're calling a travel on Cedric Coward. And so Wazoo should have had the ball back. Instead, it's Portland State basketball. They're gonna inbound this thing. They're still down by 8, but with 35 seconds to go, they are getting chances. They're finding chances. And that's not gonna help as Keont Myers passed it right over the head of Shane Noel. And now it's Wazoo basketball. If you're Shane Noel, you have to catch that ball. You have to find a way to get up and catch that basketball. You can't be throwing the ball out of bounds with 35 seconds left. And that's what you mentioned, just a little bit of a sloppy pass there. And now it's Wazoo basketball again. And Portland State head coach is arguing about this. I think he thinks that should have been a foul on Wazoo. And they don't know what's going on. And now Washington State, did they just call a timeout? The refs are trying to talk this over. What do you think happened there, Dylan?
Honestly, I'm not quite sure. Well, I don't. It looks like everyone on the court is a little bit unsure. It looked like it looked like there was a little bit of a miscommunication between obviously the inbound man and the guy that was receiving the pass there, but just an overall kind of collapse of communication there. This has been like the longest 35 seconds I could recall, honestly. Portland State is making Washington State earn every second here, as they are not waving the white towel by any means here, and they are fighting like they're ever so mascot does always.
And so Wazoo does have the ball. Price is going to inbound it. Price taking a deep shot to Isaiah Watts, makes the catch. That was like a football play, like a quarterback throwing to a wide receiver. Portland State decides to foul him. And so with 31 seconds left and an 8-point lead, Wazoo's going to go to the free throw line. If they make 2 of these, they will have a lead that is probably insurmountable. I really can't imagine Portland State could score 10 points unanswered in 30 seconds. That would take 4 possessions. Coward makes the first. Wazoo is 1 point away from 100. You said you thought they would get there. And I think they will too. He needs to get one more. Cedric Coward, the leading scorer of the day for the Cougs, and he gets it. So with 100 points, the Cougs lead by 10. It's a 190. Price with the ball on a steal. Coward now holding the ball, and now Portland State has to foul again. They're not going to, and this might be over. Looks like they're going to wave the white flag right now. 15 seconds. Washington State. They do have to get a shot off. The shot clock's going to go off, and with 8 seconds on the clock, Calmeese just heaved one, a deep 3-point attempt. It was an air ball. Portland State, 7 seconds, 5 seconds. Henderson makes the layup. Wazoo inbounds it in. 3, 2, 1.
That's going to do it.
Game over. Washington State. Final score 192. You hear the fight song playing in the background. It took to overcome a 17-point deficit, but they did it. They jumped out to a big lead in the second half, and they hung on. Wazoo wins their first game under new head coach David Riley, wins their first game with a starting lineup of 5 transfers. No returners in the starting lineup. Isaiah Watts comes off the bench, has a great game, though. Dylan, what was the best thing you saw out of the Cougs tonight?
Oh, there were so many great things. I think all of the new additions. You're talking about Cedric Coward. You're talking about Ethan Price. You're talking about Lamont Watts. All of these guys were, huge contributing factors to this win. As David Riley and as any WSU fan or any fan that has any concern about these new coming guys, I think you got some reassurance today that Washington State is, obviously I can't guarantee you that they're going to replicate last year's results, but I think this will be a very competitive, a very good team again.
Yeah, it looks like it to me. They played well. They played strong. Some great chemistry. And like I said in the pregame, I'm looking to see some chemistry between this team. And I think they showed that they do have chemistry.
Absolutely.
And I think they will continue to gain chemistry with guys like Calmeese, who is new to the squad, like Isaiah Watts. It's funny, he's the returner, right? but he's almost a new guy in a sense because he's playing with 4 guys who played together at Eastern. But I think he will start to find more chemistry with them and Parker Garrett's and Vivers as well. And they're going to get ND Okafor in there at some point as well. So, yeah, I would say I saw a lot of good stuff out of this team. And ultimately, they battled some first game jitters in the first 5 minutes. But if you take away those first 5 minutes, this was a dominating win. I mean, after the first 5 minutes, they scored 96 points as opposed to Portland State, who scored 68. So when you think about that, 96 to 68 feels a lot better than 100 to 92. It's crazy how different it would have been if not for those first 5 minutes. But yeah, it doesn't matter. Washington State gets the win. They remain. What's their overall now? You said they've never lost. How many times have they beat them?
They are now 11 and 0. It is, I believe. Yeah,
11 and 0 against
now,
Portland State, and David Riley is 7 and 0 against Portland State. He beat him 6 times at Eastern, and now beats him for the first time at Wazoo. We're gonna wrap this thing up. This has been KUGR. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. My name is Levi, alongside Dylan. We'll see you guys next week on Friday as the men take on, I believe it is Bradley, right here in Beasley. So you're not going to miss that. It'll be Luke Westfall on the call for that game.